Good morning, Dubai. How are you doing? Happy Monday. Welcome to the Lovin Daily, where we take you through the top stories. Last night, a huge announcement from Dubai Media Office saying there are updates for travellers, whether you want to come into the country or leave the country. A lot of updates. We'll try and bring you through that as quickly and in a bite-sized amount as possible. We also have an update on a brand new sunset destination, a promenade, which will be revealed. We don't have the dates yet, but it sounds pretty fantastic. And a story about a good Samaritan who's basically warmed our hearts with his incredible gesture, giving a free hotel accommodation to the families who need it most. But we'll take you through a top story, which is the fact that there are important travel updates, mainly regarding Dubai, which has opened and will welcome tourists back from July 7th. Now, this is huge news, updated rules for UAE residents, citizens, and basically anyone who wishes to travel abroad and international tourists who wish to visit Dubai. And they've been announced by the Supreme Committee of Crisis and Disaster Management, who stress that travellers should commit to a number of responsibilities to ensure their safety. And we'll talk a little bit about the responsibilities in a little bit, and I think that's key. So if you are travelling or if you have someone who is hoping to travel to the UAE, it is basically our responsibility to commit to that, to our safety. And the highlights of some of the information announced are Dubai to welcome returning residents from today. Citizens and residents will be permitted to travel overseas from June 23, 2020. There will be no restrictions on the overseas destinations that citizens and residents can travel to. I think that's important because a couple of days ago we had some information about you can travel to high risk. You cannot travel to high-risk countries, and there's different regulations for different countries. That's now been abolished. You can travel to any country you want. And also, we will continue with saying Dubai to welcome tourists from 7th of July 2020. So tourists will be required to present a recent COVID-19 negative certificate or undergo testing at Dubai airports. COVID-19 positive cases will be isolated for 14 days. Airlines have the right to prevent passengers from boarding if they exhibit COVID-19 symptoms. International health insurance, COVID-19 test, and completed health declaration form are mandatory for tourists visiting Dubai. So that's a very short summary of what's needed. I think the key points are if we are traveling or if we have people traveling hoping to come to the UAE, it's our responsibility to commit to all of the guidelines set out by the crisis committee. And the fact that the huge news is that Dubai will welcome tourists from July 7th. This is amazing. And like I said, if you're coming in from July 7th, tourists will be required to present a recent COVID-19 certificate or undergo testing at Dubai airports. So basically that's saying Dubai is not letting you in unless you can prove that you have had a recent COVID-19 negative test, which I think will give us all peace of mind when we see a massive kind of bigger influx of people entering the country. And following on from that, Dubai to welcome returning residents from tomorrow. This is really big. This is important that returning residents will all be welcome from tomorrow. Citizens and residents permitted to travel overseas from June 23 as well. So from June 23, we are all permitted to travel, and there's no restrictions on the countries that we plan to travel to. So a lot of information there. You can get it all on Dubai Media Office. We'll also have it in a more kind of a better laid out format on Lovin Dubai in a little bit. But like I said, it's your responsibility. And there's, of course, different guidelines. So, of course, you may want to book your ticket, but you'll also make sure you have the correct health insurance in place and the correct, if maybe you need to get in touch with Trajudi or the ICA to get those, correct forms in place before you travel. So this is huge news announced yesterday by Dubai Media Office. And I think it's important to see that the city is now opening up once again under very strict guidelines. We'll move on to our next story, guys. Dubai is getting floating islands and a stunning new tourist destination. This is very cool. So a new beach destination is coming, complete with a group of floating islands. It's called Sunset Promenade. It's 1 kilometer in length and is giving us life for when the cooler climate returns. The new beachfront family destination will be connected to Jumeirah Beach Walk and also located near the Dubai Water Canal. And it features very cool design features like grassy hills and sandy hills. Okay, we're quite used to the sandy hills, not so much the grassy hills. Plenty of shopping space, and of course it'll make up a huge 190,000 metres square. According to the RTA, who announced it yesterday, there'll also be more details released and a launch date released later. So we don't actually have the launch date for that, but I think we're all very excited. And I love this information because I think it shows how Dubai as a city continues to keep going. We're of course in a bit of a limbo period, but we know that there's new destinations being planned. We also have so many that I'm just looking forward to going back to again. Like, of course, it's amazing that something new has been announced, but I just want to get back out to my old faves. Chai, do you miss any particular destinations that you kind of want to go back to? Or where do you take people to when they visit? Let's say it opens up on July 7th. You have family come in. Where do you like to go?
To be honest, most of them wants to do the regular desert safari,
Yeah.
like visit the tallest building. I've never visited the tallest building.
Really?
I've stayed here 20 years.
I was going to say, how long? 20 years and you've never been. Have you been to fountains?
Yeah.
And have you wanted to, or it's just not been on your list?
Uh, like when you're at the mall, the fountains are there. You just go stop by, take a moment, soak it in, and then you just move on.
Soak it in, nice.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, but to be honest, I love the Burj Khalifa. It's my favorite building in Dubai, and I love looking at it. So I've been up it a couple of times just when I had tourists coming through, but just looking at it, I think is fun because you can go to any height, right?
Yeah, no,
Look
because
at it.
first things first is there's a very long queue.
Well, there's different, yeah, there is a very long queue, but I think you can get tickets that mean that you
Yeah.
can skip it. And then there's also above, which is a bar that you can go to. There's different ways that you can go to the top, I believe.
I should really go to the top.
Should really go to the top.
It's
Yeah.
been too long.
It's been 20 years, Chai.
It's been 20 years.
Well, it's only been here since 2000 and started construction 2004, completed in 10, I think.
Yeah.
We may be right. Guys, what are your destinations that you're looking forward to getting back out to again? That's my question to you this morning. I think for me, it may be, I don't know, I love walking around Blue Waters. I love walking around Lemur. I love Global Village, though, also.
I actually haven't gone back to Global Village either.
You've never been to Global... Okay, Chai needs to get out. That's what we've learned from this morning.
I've been to Global Village, but I remember it was one New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And
Oh, cool.
got stuck on traffic while leaving it for over 6 hours. And I think ever since then, I've never gone back.
Well, I think New Year's Eve is a tricky one in any city because there's going to be traffic. So maybe that wasn't the best shout. But you need to go on a quieter day, enjoy the little food street. There's lots of food from all over the world. It's very cool. But guys, we'll go on to our final story, which is the fact that a Dubai Samaritan has offered his hotel free for families leaving the UAE. Now, this is a spectacular gesture. Luke James has offered families to stay at Zabeel House by Jumeirah at the Greens free for 4 weeks in order to prepare for their departure from the UAE. I think this is amazing. He said in a Facebook post he was pretty down about some of the stories about families leaving Dubai, and he felt compelled to do something in a small but helpful way. All the families that actually will get to stay in the hotel, all they need to do is pay a 15 dirham tourism fee per night or 30 dirham fee for 2 rooms. Now, this is a huge gesture to help ease the pressure on families. Zabeel House, as we know, is completely located in the Greens, which will make it easier to complete paying DUFEs and closing bank accounts. We've shared a number of stories about residents going out of their way to help other residents who are in a bit of difficulty at the moment. And I think this is just so spectacular. We mentioned, I think last week, Paula Haney, who's a photographer, and she said what she wanted to do to help people leaving the UAE was just take their final snaps. So that was something that she was able to do, a skill. She had some time, so she's done that together. Now, Luke James said he wanted to give rooms in his hotel to people that are leaving the UAE to just ease a financial burden. I think that's so incredible. Shout out to you, Luke James. Yeah.
So nice.
So fantastic. And the details to get in touch with him are in a story that we published on Lovin Dubai yesterday. If I had his email right now, I'd read it out. I think it's Luke James at Jumeirah, but I could be very wrong. So I'll put the link to the article in the bottom of the comments, so you can check this out after. But guys, those are top stories. Like I said, we'll have the updated travel information posted on Lovin Dubai very shortly. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow and stay safe. Bye.